Okay.
So it is, what is it? It's the first, it's not the first. It's the beginning of June. It's the second Monday of the month, which means that we're doing our team call, which is really super fun.
Mhm.
And just for fun, we thought it would be fun to have everybody on tonight. And all three guy coaches on the team are here. Woo woo. So John is brand new. He's over there. So John, wave so everybody can see you.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Paul is in New York. So Paul, wave because Paul's been around. So he's over there. And then Bobby Krager's living room is here. I see his name on the screen, but I don't need there. There he is. There.
Mhm.
So I thought it would be fun. So we're going to start with the guys. So I thought it would be fun tonight to one of the skills that you really, really, really need is an impactful story when you're talking about how can we help the most people. Okay. And so let's have you tell us um, your journey in the most impactful way so far for you. Like John, you're brand new. And so if
Mhm.
you so I'll let you go last of the guys. But Paul's getting up.
Okay.
Paul's like, that's enough for me.
Mhm.
But Mr. Krager, can you come off mute and tell us your story and a little bit about you?
Letty said I have 5 seconds. Is that correct? Get that in.
Hey.
Okay. Letty came on after some time, well, after 8 years of Trish going after her. And I watched her for 3 months. And during that 3 months time, her mom lives with us. We'd go get donuts in the morning. Then we'd go over and get a greasy burger for lunch. And then I'd come home and make lean and green for all of us. During that period of a little over 3 months, it was February to May, I lost 10 pounds just by doing the lean and green because I didn't change anything else. And that's when I said I'm on board. I had gone with Letty on all the diets except Lindora. I refused to do it. It was the last one she did. And so I decided this is a program I could do. And by October of that year, I was down to a 28-inch waist, which I hadn't seen in years, and had lost 47 pounds.
Meds.
Got off of all my meds, which was cholesterol medication. It was high blood pressure, 2 prescription GERD medications, plus 1 over the counter. And even with that, I was still throwing up at night sometimes until this program. And about a week to 10 days into it, no more GERD. And it made no difference what time I ate or what I ate. So this is the real thing, and it has worked really well. And I'm really pleased. Although I will be honest, I didn't transition properly. We went to convention, which we'll miss this year. Disappointing, but we'll do it online. And we did Disney World for 12 days, thanks to the program, because I started coaching with her that October. And we went back to Disney World again in late August to get the Food and Wine Festival. And I could not help but stop by Germany and get a dark beer every time we passed. So I did put back on some weight, and I've decided I'm going to go down to 126, which was my induction weight in the military during Vietnam. So
What do you
that's
love?
my story.
What do you love the most about coaching, Bobby?
The people, actually, the people. I like helping the people. I've always been that way. I worked retail most of my life and was very successful at it. Not because I could sell anybody better than anybody else. It's just that I really cared about the people, making sure they got what they wanted and finding out what they wanted. You know, so that's the thing I like the most about it is helping the people.
Excellent. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Cole, why don't you come along and tell us your favorite?
Yes. Sorry, I had to kick my kid out of the living room. We had the TV blaring, driving me nuts.
Yeah, so, Trisha, I didn't tell you this. Trisha, you don't even know this. So about 5 years ago, I lost 80 pounds on my own, did my own thing, and kept it off for a couple years. But then you know how it is, right? It keeps creeping up, and the graph starts going up. So, anyways, so at one point, I had to get 30 pounds off, and my coach at the gym introduced me to Optavia and Trisha, and so nothing seemed to work. I just couldn't get the weight off. It was on me like glue, and I didn't understand. I was so confused because I had done it before. I thought I knew what I was doing. So, anyways, my biggest thing, the thing I love most about this program is, and I say this to all in my health assessments, I am no longer a slave of food. I am in control of what goes in my mouth, and it's not the food that dictates what is going in my body. So that's my big walk away from Optavia, is that it's freedom. It's freedom to have complete control and know what to do in stressful situations, or maybe when you're a little tired. But that freedom of not having to have chips and chocolate and soda and all that crap in the house is pretty remarkable. So that's my story. I mean, it was only 30 pounds, but the emotional takeaway for me is huge. The freedom.
Awesome. Okay. What is your favorite part then, you suppose? Because you had a pretty good, like your why you and I talked a couple days ago was pretty big.
Say that. You chopped up there.
The reason that you and I talked a couple days ago, or was it just yesterday, was pretty huge in your family.
Yes. I'm so excited. My in-laws are quite elderly. They're in their early 80s, and my mother-in-law has a lot of health issues, including dementia. But my father-in-law, in a conversation in the kitchen, and this is that authentic piece I love, right? Because he knew what I was doing. He knew what my wife was doing, and he had heard some things. And I always thought it would be really good for them. But anyways, in an authentic conversation with him, he's like, I'm doing this. I'm doing what you guys are doing. And so not only did he sign up, but my mother-in-law signed up too. And Bernadette was actually a very active, smart, intelligent woman who did a lot, raised 4 kids, volunteered at the fire department along with my father-in-law. But age, they are just poisoning themselves with the stuff they're putting in their bodies, and they knew it. So anyways, they are very excited to sign up for this. Especially my father-in-law. It's going to be a lot of work because fortunately they live close, and we're going to have to do a lot of the meal prep for them, like the lean and green and the weighing and stuff like that. But it's totally worth it. And I think once they get a hold on the fuelings, and how to make them and things of that nature, like the ones I had a little bit of prep. But we're all very excited. My wife's whole family is very excited, and we're hoping that Bernadette can walk again.
That would be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, she's crippled with arthritis in her hip.
And so many people just don't realize the inflammation they're causing by what they're eating. They just don't have a clue about that. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think they did know. I just think they didn't know what to do. I think they were just hoping a miracle would happen, and especially my father-in-law, but he's still pretty with it. But my mother-in-law is slowly declining. But I think this is going to help her out a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
So stay tuned.
There we go. I'm excited. Okay, John, tell the gang where you're from. What's your story so far? It's short yet, but I'm excited for you. So I'm glad you're here.
Thanks for inviting me, Trisha. I appreciate it. My name is John. I'm from Humboldt, Texas. I've struggled with my weight since I was young, and I always like thrive to get in the best shape of my life. And I have a few yo-yo effects where you know, I was in great shape and then I gained all the way back, and it was very hard, difficult. And I love this program. It's so simple and easy for me, and it's really benefiting me a lot because I've fasted, I drive fasted, I did intermittent fasting, I did keto, and plus it was tough to find something for the meds that I was on, like for my bipolar disorder. Um, but with this program is doing me really good mentally, and I'm feeling great. And I appreciate to Gwyneth reaching out to me and helping me. I really, I'm grateful. Thank you.
That's an awesome segue. So I'm going to go to Gwyneth, but before we get there, I want to point out that the reason John is here is because Gwyneth followed the system. And she kept at it. And I remember lots of talks where she said, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. I said, you just have to follow the system and stay consistent. And I think that all of those seeds that she planted are starting to sprout, because all of a sudden you're bringing on clients left and right. So Gwyneth, give us your favorite, like your story, what you love about coaching the most, for you're from, just quick little blurb. And unmute you.
I'm doing it in sign language today. I'm learning so much in COVID. I'm from San Francisco. I think I'm the only coach in this leg, Trisha's leg, that's from San Francisco. We have some Santa Clara folks in Karen's side, but I followed the system. I was one of those folks that I would do it, and I was always positive and always like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I had faith, but I still had to voice some things out loud to Miss T and Megan, being like, what the hell? I'm doing everything. And, they were like, just keep doing it. And you know what? It was when I was actually ready for things to happen. So everything works out for the best reason possible. But I spent a good year working on me because I had neglected me for years. I mean, like, I'm 55 now. I'd neglected myself since I was in my at least mid 30s, to tell you the truth. So, I mean, I knock on wood, my body held it together for so long. I've, thanks to my parents' good genes, they passed on down. But the best thing for me about coaching is this community and reaching out to people. It's the people on both sides of the coin, the people I chit chat with about some crazy dog antic and what their favorite dog's snoring pose is, versus, how I can help someone and they're just like in near tears telling me, not only do I need to do this, I can't bend over, but I'm too broke to do this. Like, it's this whole load of things. And at a certain point, I mean, my heart breaks, but sometimes I think I'm like their only friend, because I've listened to so many different things from people like you guys all have, where you're like, I don't even think I should be knowing this about this person. But and then my heart breaks even more, because sometimes I might be the only person that they feel comfortable sharing that with, which also breaks my heart, because there's so many wonderful, wonderful people out there with so many lovely things going on, that they're so sad about something. And it's something that's easily fixable. And in all honesty, it's easily fixable by good nutrition and a little bit of sunshine. And a community that sit behind it. So I love that. For me personally, what's done is connecting with the people. But for me physically is, I'm a type 1 diabetic, and it was always, by the grace of God, it was always good. But now it's even keeled. Like, I am unbelievably steady boring on that glucose line, which is a wonderful thing when you're a diabetic. Yeah. Just saying, I like being boring.
That's awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to have Megan tell us I'm just looking I'm thinking in the family tree of things. So I'm going to get to everybody here, but Meg, tell us your story and your favorite thing, and maybe anything else that comes to mind that you think you need to share.
Okay, hi, I'm Megan. I am in Vista, California, over by San Diego. And I've been coaching for almost 4 years. I lost 62 pounds in 6.5 months. I stalked Trish for over a year. So there's a little bullet right there that if someone, you don't think people are commenting on a post, don't worry about it because they're watching you. Because I watched her and I was not going to like anything or say anything because I didn't want her to say something back to me because we were friends because of the poodles. And when I was ready, when I was sick and tired of being sick and tired in my own skin from being hot and sweaty and not being able to button the pants and, not sleeping well, that's when I reached out. And I was a credit card thrower. Let's get this going. Let's get this going. So thank you, Trish. Thank you for letting me stalk you.
Sure.
So that's my story. The best thing that I like about coaching is I'm very open and unanonymous, is that I'm also in recovery. So I've been clean and sober for almost 11 years. And for me, this program resembled another program that I'm very diligent and vigilant about, and that's AA. So in AA, where you have a community, I go to meetings. I have a sponsor. So I have a sponsor, and now I have my food or up to be a sponsor. And it's very structured, and I'm accountable, and I'm with like-minded people who are along the same journey. And for me, that works because I know what to do, but I won't do it if I'm left to my own devices. And the thing that I like the most about coaching is I love seeing people transform right before my eyes. Like Gwyneth. She is not the same person she was a year ago. And I mean that mentally. Mentally. The shift that woman has made is, it's just unexplainable. And I got Tori in one of these squares down here. Tori is not the same person she was a year ago. Mentally, she's under me. I'm her coach, but I go to her for coach questions because she's really smart. And so, but she's this little itty bitty tiny little thing. She's not the same person. And I love seeing that because I love seeing this energy come alive in people and their eyes light up and they're like, oh my God, it's working and I feel good. And that's what I get out of it. So thanks for letting me share, Trish.
Absolutely. I think then that we need to speak to Tori from her Carface. So if you guys have not heard Tori speak before, this is her Carface. You might need to explain.
Yes, I live in my Carface because I have a lot of dogs. So you can hear me if I'm in my Carface generally. Well, I live in Meadowbrook, California, which is real near Lake Elsinore. And I reached out to Megan. So I saw Megan's before and after pictures because she put them on her Facebook. And so I reached out to her because of my husband. My husband had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and was taking insulin. And he had heart condition where he had his second heart attack in December of 2018. And I knew that if I didn't make some kind of change there, I wasn't going to have him that much longer. And even when I was angry with him, I still wanted him around. So I reached out to Megan and I said, can you please tell me about your program? So she told me about the program. And when I heard about it, I knew this was going to work. And so I told Derek, I said, I'm going to sign you up for this program. And he said, I won't do it unless you do it. And I said, well, okay, I had some weight I could lose for sure. And I'm like, but I didn't think I had any other problems. To me, I was healthy because I was living with Derek, who was on 15 medications. But what I found, like Bobby, 4 days after going on program, I no longer had to sleep propped up. I could actually sleep through the night flat and not have acid reflux so bad that it would wake me up choking. there were, I lost 68 pounds in 7 months. And I honestly, Megan told me I could lose about 60 pounds, and I laughed at her when we were doing the health assessment. She told me, yeah, I said, well, with your height and weight, you could lose between 60 and 70 pounds. And I laughed at her. I was like, right, sure. You know, I thought maybe 20, but 68 pounds later, she was right. So she believed in me way before I believed in me. Derek lost 51 pounds on program. He went from 15 medications down to 5, and he no longer takes insulin. His doctor literally high-fived him when he came in after all of that good stuff. So it's pretty amazing. So it's been a wonderful blessing for me. And I'm one of those rare people that I actually signed up to coach the day I signed up for my kid. And because I knew I wanted the income. And for me, I needed to make some more money, and I knew that this was a wonderful way to do it. So I'm working my way on up. I want to be Jamil one day when I grow up. We'll see if that works out, but that's my goal.
As long as you have a target to shoot for, you'll be headed in the right direction for sure. For sure.
That's right.
Excellent. Thank you. Let me see. Laura, do we have, I'm gonna unmute you. As long as is it quiet now at your house? Hold on, I'm trying to unmute you. Hang on. Maybe you can unmute yourself because it's not letting me unmute you.
Okay, I just tried. Did that work?
Yep, much better, much better. So tell us your story and what's your favorite thing about coaching, where you live, etc.
Okay, my story is I started this program in January of 18, I think.
I think so.
I think it was January of 18, or was it 17? I don't remember anymore.
I think it's 18.
So 19, 20, it's been 2 years plus some time. So it was 18.
Mm-hmm.
I had tried anything and everything to lose weight. I'd done all the other programs, lost a lot of weight on Jenny Craig, but when I stopped eating it, I put it all right back on. So they didn't have the community concept. They didn't have the support. They didn't address the mental issues, other than the one Thanksgiving dinner that they showed through servings through fat. But you know, that was kind of left an imprint. But my mother always complained that I was overweight and was always concerned about me. And so when my mother became quite ill, I told her that I was going to lose weight. And Trish reached out to me. I don't even really remember how and or why. I'm sure it had to do with poodles. And I said, well, what the heck? I've tried everything else. And it worked. And I originally said I would lose. I thought if I could get under 200 pounds, I'd be ecstatic. I hadn't been under 200 pounds in years. And so I kind of threw out a goal, never thinking I'd reach it. The program works, reached the goal, and then exceeded the goal because my original goal was not a healthy BMI, but I thought I would never see it anyway. Well, I did. I exceeded the goal. I got down to a healthy BMI, which is where I pretty much stay. I put on a pound here and there, but like right now I'm at my daughter's house. We've been working on my house in Boise. I live in a city called American Canyon, which is Napa County, California. I'm in the process of gutting a house and rebuilding it from the inside out to move to Boise with my daughter, where she and her husband, and soon to be baby due in August. And I needed a means in which to support my my little hobby, which is rebuilding a house. So that was one of the reasons behind coaching. Also the standpoint that you keep your weight off if you are coaching. So you're going to walk the walk, you got to talk the talk, walk the walk. So that was a big reason I went into coaching, because I didn't want this to be another Jenny Craig lose the weight and put it back on. And it's worked pretty well, and I help people. And I'm a nurse by career, I guess you call it. I'm trying to get out of nursing. I've identified myself as a nurse for 40 years. I'm now trying to identify myself more as a health coach. I'm still helping people. And I think people get more out of it. I mean, when I am a nurse, I'm a critical care nurse. That's what I've done for years, mostly with very little people. But trying to keep people out of that situation and help people get healthy and stay healthy. That's kind of where I'm at. So that's kind of my story.
What's your favorite part about coaching, Laura?
Watching people do what they didn't think they could do. Kind of like what I did. It'll never work. I had somebody who just restarted the program. She had been on the program, had done well. Life got in the way. And she just, she restarted, and she's already down. Her first 2 weeks back on the program, she was down 16 pounds. And now she's back in Wonderland, as we so lovingly call it. And she's ecstatic. So she's doing real well. I like watching people accomplish what they never thought they could. Because that's what I did. So I want to share.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much. Let me see. Lisa Hooley, I see you over there on your, can you unmute yourself, my friend? Or you want me to, I can't do that for whatever reason. So you hit the unmute button. Ta-da. Hold on. There you
Hi.
go.
I'm
So,
unmuted.
Lisa is one of my newer friends in Clarksville, and I met her because I ended up in her urgent care. And apparently God's sense of humor said, here, let's put these two together, because her son is building a house up the street from my new house. We have the exact same floor plan, and so she and I were fast friends, even though it was not a good day for me personally, but it's turned out to be really awesome, and we really...
Yeah, it was kismet. It really, really was. And you caught me during my facial time every night. So it's the
That's all right.
so,
So
I have a regimen, okay, every night.
good. It's
anyway,
good. It's good
yeah.
Tell us a little bit your version of what you've been hearing everybody else. Like, what is your story? Where are you from? What do you love about it so far?
Well, I am originally from Atlanta, and my husband and I moved here in Clarksville 2012 for his job. I had a very successful business of my own in in Atlanta. And to move with him, I shut it down, and I cried for 3 years and gained 100 pounds. I had not been overweight. I had been healthy, a gym goer, 3-4 days a week, had not had issues. I was so miserable and had been so miserable, not knowing anybody, leaving my family, that I just really didn't care. And I just ate my feelings. Simple as that. And I have just let it go and let it go and let it go. And of course, I've yo-yo dieted and done this and that. And I really, and then I got a few years older, and it wasn't as easy. It wasn't coming off. I was starving myself. I was 12-hour fasting. You name it, I was doing it, and nothing was happening. Being in the medical industry, I don't take any medications. I have no health issues, knock on wood. And I had everything tested, and there was, other than probably being perimenopausal, sorry guys, there was nothing wrong. Other than I had screwed my metabolism so desperately. So anyway, I knew Trish was a health coach because she had mentioned it. I didn't really pay much attention to it, I'm going to be honest. And I kept seeing her post these things about losing weight, and I never knew she had been overweight. I had no idea, because she was just thin and, looked great. And then she was losing more weight, and I was like, what in the hell is she doing? So I messaged her. I said, what are you doing? And she's, I'll call you. And it went from there. And I'm on my second week. I've lost 12.8 pounds. It's been the easiest thing I've ever done. My husband has joined along with me because he's extremely supportive. He's lost a bit of weight, not as much as me. He's had some little faux pas that he wouldn't listen to me, but now he does. So I have 2 coaching clients already. People started messaging me immediately because I just went out and started posting. I didn't post anything about what I was doing, just the fact that, hey, I'm getting healthy. 10 pounds, I've lost 10 pounds in 1 week. And then I posted again, and I've just been getting messages. I had somebody else call me today, and I have got to get with Trish, of course. There's a couple that wants to join. So actually I have 3 clients right now. I take that back. It's 3, isn't it, Trish? It's
I'm
3.
Did you lose one? Yes, you have 3.
Yeah, it's 3. So, and that's in 2 weeks. So I'm getting message after message, and it's just by posting that how happy and I feel fantastic. I used to have no energy by 4 o'clock at the office. I just want to die. I could just if I close my eyes, I would be gone. I don't have that. I'm just running around like a crazy person. So I'm thankful and I feel blessed. And the first coaching call I had was from a friend of mine in Atlanta. And as I told Trish, I cried the entire time on mute, of course, listening to her story, because I had no idea that somebody that I thought was so independent and so together had so low self-esteem of themselves like she did, and felt so badly about herself. And getting back to the call earlier with everybody finding out things about people that you had no idea that they felt that way. So I was thankful that I found that out about her, saddened but thankful, and very grateful that I think that we're able to help her, and she seems to be really loving the program. So I think this is great, and I'm dying to get out of the healthcare industry. I'm tired of it. I'm exhausted. If I test one more person for COVID or hear COVID one more time, I'm going to scream. It's just I'm tired. So I also sell real estate, which is really what I want to do full time. So between this and real estate, I'm hoping that I can get out of my healthcare job, truthfully, and help a lot of people. So that's it.
It is so much more fun and positive and encouraging to be able to give the gift away and hear people and watch them transform. And we do get paid well to do that. So you're gonna do well, Lisa, and you're gonna love it for sure. All right. Along the lines of those kind of calls, I'm going to see Cindy. Can you come off mute? Are you over there? Because Cindy had a similar experience with our first call today. And I'm going to have you unmute yourself. Cindy's a brand new coach who only bought her kit on Friday.
Friday, yeah.
And I'd say she's a little motivated. She has 12 calls scheduled already and is super excited. But we had our first practice call today because, of course, here's a little caveat I'll throw in here. People being people, we already had 2 cancellations. This is why we book a whole bunch of calls. So if you only book 5 practices, I promise you they're not all going to hold. So John, note to you, just like book way more than you want to hold because people are flaky. But Cindy, why don't you tell us your story, a little bit of your background and your journey so far, my friend.
Well, I come from, I was a general manager of a car dealership before. And then I went in and I actually owned and operated my own mortgage bank for years. After we closed down, I added on a whole bunch of weight. In 2015, I ended up weighing 320 pounds. And so it's been a journey. I was desperate and I had to do something. And I went in and I had bariatric surgery. I actually had, I had a sleeve put in. I had my stomach removed and a sleeve put in. They changed my body, but they didn't change my mind. So that was in 2015. As of, I guess, May of 3 weeks ago, I put it, a lot back on. I was back up to 268 pounds. And I said, I can't do this. I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to do anything. I'm a successful artist. I've got paintings in over 6 different countries. And here I am sitting in my house, and all I wanted to do is into 4 different walls. I didn't want to go anywhere. And I know Trish through Poodles, and been following her. I guess I've been stalking her too, Megan. And I just says, you know what, I'm done. I need something. And she was right on it, right there. She goes, I'm calling you on Thursday. And here I am. I'm 13 and a half inches down in 3 weeks.
absolutely mind blowing. So your call today.
Oh my God, she in tears. I mean, this lady needs help. She really does need help. Um, it was my first call. Uh, I had two cancel on me, one I haven't heard from yet again, but the other one's like apologizing up and down. I want to, I need to hear it. I need to hear that type of thing. But my lady today, it really took me through a lot. She gave up. We didn't have to ask any questions. She gave up everything that we needed to know. She needs to be with us. And I seen her liking a lot of stuff on the pages and stuff. So hopefully we can get her into the system. But, I think a lot of people is going to come up with that money. And I just told her, I said, you need to step back. And I said, I don't know how you keep log of your groceries and stuff, but take a look back and see what you're spending on all your carryouts. She admitted to us, she's a single woman and she has food brought in 3 or 4 times a week. Boy, that can't be cheap. To me is $100 a week, so, but her mind has to be there. I don't know if she can turn her mind there yet.
Yeah.
It's going to take some love.
Mm-hmm. For so many people, that's what I see. I've got a client in that same category right now, and bless her heart, I got off the health assessment. I was so sad for her because she messaged me and said, after we did the health assessment, and said, am I too screwed up to do this? And your heart just breaks for them. You're like, if you want this, I will help you. I partner with you. I take you alongside. I can't do it for you. Like when they say, I hate vegetables, how am I going to do this? I don't know. You have to want it, and then let's figure it out. So that's just critical to that. So she'll figure it out if it's important enough. So I think you're going to love this community, Cindy. It's just pretty amazing. The people that we meet in life. So a lot of years ago, let me figure this math out. Probably about 37 years ago, I think, I met Christine Hawkins' mom when we worked together. And she would tell me about her daughter, Christine, once in a while. But we were out in California. Christine was, I think, in Vermont. And over the years, we stayed, and her mom, Beth, I didn't think ever had any weight to lose at all. But we had stayed connected through Facebook just because, it's kind of fun to reconnect. We lost them for a while. They moved away. They got divorced. I got divorced. And it was just all this other stuff. But eventually, she still had a timeshare in San Clemente. And so she came out one time and she had messaged me before. She goes, I want to learn about your program. I'm like, okay, you guys know me. I'm like, happy to share it for sure. Turns out it wasn't for her at the time. She told me it was for her daughter. Christine and I were talking there. She goes, Mom never told me anything at all, or I would have been on the program years ago. So, Christine, why don't you take it away? It's been so much fun to watch you just blossom and grow. And tell me your journey and what you are learning about yourself and whatever else you want to share.
Sure. Well, I've been overweight what I felt like my whole life. And so, I've always been told I was big, I go on every diet when I was a teenager and all that stuff. But it got really bad after my daughter. The weight really packed on quick. And I went to my 25th high school reunion and I was 297 pounds. And I saw pictures of that weekend and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore, which then really kicked in my health journey. Between that time and the time I came on program 2 years ago, I tried a whole bunch of stuff. You try the pills, the quick pills, you try the Slim Fast, take your pick, you try everything. And at the time I had gone on a whole food plant-based diet and had lost some weight on that, but it was slowly starting to come back on. And I was just like, I can't keep depriving myself of the food that I really want to eat, because I think this is going to be healthy and still gain weight. That's not going to work for me. So my mom called and said, hey, I've been on a program I think at that point she'd only been on 3 weeks, and she was almost at her goal weight at that point. And she said, I really think you need to try this. You would love it. My daughter immediately jumped on program. I said, hell no, I'm not doing that. And then the next morning called my mom and said, all right, fine, just sign me up. I don't care. Let's just do it. Doesn't, whatever. I've lost 80 pounds in that amount of time. And God only knows, what did I tell you, Trish? Like 60 plus inches all over my body, something like that. I make fun of myself because my hips were 48 inches and they're not that way. I was like, I'm 4 feet wide, people, 4 feet wide. I know it's circumference, it's different, but still it's a 4 foot wide person coming through a door. Come on. So anyway, I'm done all that. So the weight loss has been fabulous. I mean, I had fibromyalgia. So I hurt all the time. I don't hurt all the time. I don't do that. That doesn't, I might have a minor flare every once in a while, especially if I let myself get run down a little bit. Or if I'm getting sick, I might have a minor flare, but it lasts a day or two, not 7 or 8 months that it was lasting before. All of that. I think for me, the biggest change has been my mental weight loss. There's still a lot of chatter. Trish and I had a conversation this morning. Chatter was just rolling along this morning, but it's getting less. I'm a little bit more brave around the chatter, and that's been my greatest. Has been that growth, the personal growth. The thing I love about the program the most, or about coaching the most, is personally, is the personal growth that you go through. You're in this community and everybody's growing, and you want to kind of keep up or go ahead, or people are at a different spot, so they're like, hey, I was back there a year ago, this is what really helped me, and you can dig in and you can get that growth or support too. And then the other thing is absolutely watching the people. I love hearing their why when you're, doing the health assessment, and I love watching them tap into that and be able to continue when the going gets tough, to realize, oh, wait a minute, I do want to get there, so maybe this is what I have to give up, and going through that. So that's, I think, my favorite part, besides the community, because I never would have met any of you people otherwise, because I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and most of you, well, it was California based for a long time. Now it's kind of moving a little bit east, but
We're shifting a little bit. Shifting.
that's right. That's right. We're all shifting.
Good. I love that. And so just for fun, for the newer coaches that don't know what the chatter is about, tell them just a tidbit, what we're talking about, and our nickname for that.
All right. Well, there's a couple different nicknames. Most of us, I think, call it the committee. It's not the committee. I like to name her Amy. So it's the amygdala. So it's Amy. And she's just screaming and yelling, don't, God, you got to protect me. Oh my God, you can't do that. What are they gonna? Yeah, she's all the time just screaming and yelling and raising her hands. As you can tell, I grew up in Vermont and I'm French. No, I'm not really, but I talk with my hands. So anyway, it's that, it's just your brain just screaming and yelling at you that there's no possible way that anybody's going to appreciate what you have to say or whatever. And so there's that. And this morning with Trish, what it was I posted in Commit to Be Fit this morning about something that I had heard from John Maxwell. And it really struck me because I see a lot in the Commit to Be Fit page about people that are struggling and they feel like they're failing, and they've, okay, well, I fell off program, or I, not even fell off program. I ate one bad thing, and then you didn't fail the program at that point. You just you take the next right step. Anyway, so I had heard that from John Maxwell this morning, and it really struck me. And so I had to run it by Trish because my my Amy was screaming at me not to post it, but I really kind of knew that I needed to post it. But so that's what the committee or the chatter or whatever name you want to name it, that's what it is.
And that's the funnest part, to start being able to identify and then separate yourself from and go, thank you very much, but you're not welcome right now, and your opinion is not necessary, and we're going to do what we need to do. Because my answer back to her was, wow, the committee is loud today.
Yeah, it was screaming. It was screaming.
All right, good. It has been so fun to watch Christine just come out of her shell, because you're right. She lost her physical weight a while ago, but this coming out of your shell now has been so much fun to watch, because just absolutely developing as a leader. So I'm going to call Letty, if she can still hear me in your box over here, because Letty is probably the person, well, aside from Christine, who I had known for the longest time before we all got healthy together. So I love Letty we've known each other from our prior life in the pink world. So we just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bobby already alluded to the fact that it took me 8 years from the time Trish first approached me and talked to me about her program until I had enough. Basically for me is before I started this program, I had tried a number of different things, and I always would plateau after maybe 25 pounds, and then the weight, of course, would creep back on. And pardon me while I get rid of a notification. And I ended up, what was the painful moment for me, where the pain of wanting to stay the same was far less than the pain of going through the change that I needed to make. And that was getting on an airplane to go on a business trip and having to get up out of my seat and walk back to get a seatbelt extender, walk up to the front, ask for a seatbelt extender. And I was mortified. Do you think I called Trish right away? No. I waited till 2.5 months before my next trip, because thinking, if I could just lose 25 pounds, call Trish up. I'd like to lose 25 pounds before I go. Well, when's your trip? Okay, 2.5 months. Yeah, you should be able to do that. Well, long story short, trip was canceled. I lost over 100 pounds. And Bobby will say, he'll be the first to say that I have changed. My personality has changed. Last year, actually a year ago, yesterday was the first time I did the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, because I hate the idea of falling. I hate that sensation. I'm like, okay, face my fears. It's my favorite ride now. And I also did a fundraiser for Habitat for Humanity, where I rappelled down the outside of a 10-story building. Never done anything like that before. And, yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking when you climb over the edge of a building and look down, but, I'll do it again in a heartbeat. And so Trish is going to have to fly out to do it with us, unless, of course, you find another one, because this company does that puts them on. They actually go do these fundraisers everywhere, and it's not just for Habitat for Humanity, but it's so much fun. And now my next big bucket list goal is not skydiving. Mr. Kreger would love for me to go skydiving, But my next big bucket list goal is shark diving.
No, thank
Yeah.
you.
Come on, Trish. Yeah. I mean, I'm not talking in a cave.
I will swim with whale sharks, and I have had people ask me, "Oh my God, weren't you afraid of like regular sharks?" And I said, "No, that was just the whale sharks, and they don't eat anything." Until Michael and Dennis said, "If you look around, they're right over there." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't see them. Otherwise, I probably would not have been in the water." So no, I'll let you. I will cheer for on the boat. Yay! I'll be so.
Yay. Yeah, but I've basically been coaching for gosh, it's over 2 years. Just I think I'm starting my third year. I think. You know, COVID. I schedule people to work COVID. I am like up to here with COVID, but you know, it is what it is, and I am this close to retirement. So, and that's called early retirement, not regular retirement, early. So, but I love the personal development. I love helping other people, and I especially love the people that I have met. My roommate, my crazy San Diego friend, my squishy who's not squishy anymore, and you know, and everybody on the team. There is just so many good people, and I just love them all. So, and my life is just so much better now, so much better in so many ways because it's just been completely enriched.
Can any of you not relate to that? I mean, seriously, if you've been around for about 5 minutes or longer, this is not, I mean, we say it all the time in our trainings and to our clients, but we are not a diet or a weight loss company. This is about transforming your entire life. And what a gift that we get to give away to other people. It's just like the most amazing thing ever. So we are at the top of the hour and running out of time. I'm so glad you guys are here. I love you bunches. And hold on, Paul, you said to remind you, and we have a question. So hold on, I'm gonna, can you unmute yourself really fast?
Oh, I can ask you privately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not a major thing. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to throw it out there. Usually, as long as COVID is passed, there's always a Christmas party in Southern California, always for the Coach family. And I plan to figure out how to make it over there. But I'm thinking for those of us on this side of the country now, maybe at my new house, there will be plenty of room to sleep on the floor. If you travel here, Christine could go back to her own house because now she and I have seen each other a couple of times frequently. I saw Kelsey because I'm close by, but truly everybody's right here. But if y'all want to come out here for Christmas party or whatever it ends up being, it's going to be fun because I think we create community. You heard that on the call tonight. We create community wherever we're at. Can you imagine being Jared and Amber and you have this whole guest event and one person shows up?
Yeah.
But she's an integrated presidential director now.
I know.
Because just you do it. You set it up. I mean, when I started doing coffee with coaches, and now it's interfered with the scheduling of it has interfered with so many of our trainings most of the time. But when I started doing coffee with coaches, I eventually quit having it at other places because it ended up being me, myself, and I and my cup of coffee. And I thought, well, I could have coffee with coaches at home, and if people show up, that's awesome. And if not, well, then I'll just go back to work. But you want to create that kind of environment to draw people toward us, because what have you all heard tonight? What we're missing is community and wanting to fit in and belong. And we have this amazing gift to give away. So it's pretty awesome. All right. Thanks, guys. Love you bunches. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.